number. When you send me a message, then I'll.
Yes, 9th was
20th.
Huh? Very few people have come. अभी आएंगे विद्यार्थी लोग.
It's 10:35 something.
It is only 10:35.
No, it starts on. We are like.
Doesn't matter even if there are few people.
It doesn't matter. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krita Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punaha. So today we are doing Bhagavad Gita. Happens to be Wednesday, and today it's Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter and 20th verse. We have seen 19th verse. In that verse, the last phrase I would like to explain: Sadasachaham Arjuna. I am both. I am all the five elements. Sat means that which has a form. That which is visible is called Sat. Asat means that which is invisible. In that the air and space are not invisible. You can't see them to the eyes. The fire, the water, the earth are visible. Therefore, Sat and Asat. Sat means that which has a form, that which is visible, and Asat means that which is not visible. And in both, I am I am in and through all the five elements. They are made of me. Even though they look inert, but they are made of consciousness. The wave is water. The Jagat is Brahman. Jagat is you. Jagat is you. The object is the subject. The subject is the subject object relationship also goes, so it has to be bracketed with the object. And the object is gone, subject object relationship goes, then you stand as the absolute. The subject object, because all relationships exist only within subject object relationship. You stand as the subject, you stand as the subject of your all your relationships with things. So, and therefore here, the next verse we are doing 20th verse Ji. 20th verse we are doing and Traividyaha. Traividyaha means those who know Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samveda. They are called Traividyaha. Those who know Traividyaha. Traividyaha means those who know Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samveda. These people, Traividyaha. Mam means here it is said, whom you look upon as Vasu Adi Devata Rupinam. Means you may worship the Devatas, but I am none other than Devatas. I am also in the Devatas are not separate from me. Devatas are not separate from me. And therefore Mam means you may worship the Devatas, but the Devatas are also me only. Therefore you don't have to unnecessarily worry that the Devatas are different from me. So the worship that you give to them, it will ultimately reach me. And therefore, you don't have to think, because Brahman is Jiva. If Brahman is Jiva, Devata also is a Jiva. If Brahman is Devata as a Jiva, Manusha is a Jiva, Kavi as a Jiva, Ant is a Jiva. Anything that is embodied is a Jiva, please. Anything that is embodied is a Jiva. And Brahman is a Jiva. Brahman itself looks like taken to embodiment. Taking embodiment, it looks like a Jiva. Jiva means he is a breather, etc., thinker, etc. So Mam, and therefore in the same manner, Mam means me, mujko, who is there in the form of every Jiva, Somapaha. And these people who study the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, those who have that Somapaha means so Somam Pibanti iti Somapaha. Somam Pibanti iti Somapaha. Tena sa Somapaha means they drink Somarasam. Why do they drink Somarasam? Because it is an anga of the yajna. And drinking the Soma is also a part of a ritual, because it gives you stamina to sit around the fire. And that is what is called Somapaha. It's called Somarasam. Putapapaha. Putapapaha. Putapaha freed from the papa. Papa means the sin. Even the Vedic rituals can liberate you from the sin. Vedic rituals also can liberate you from sin. But then, Swamiji, when all the sin is I'm gone, I will not be liberated from samsara. No, because exhausting sin can be exhausted, the merit can be exhausted, but you cannot. Your existence cannot be exhausted, and your problem is not samsara. Your problem is your view about yourself. That I am Deha is a view. That view being what it is. The view is what is called an erroneous notion. That view, that I am Deha, is a view. And therefore, it is the Brahman that has the view that I am Deha. And therefore, the unlimited has the wrong view about itself, that I am limited. The unlimited, the unbound to the body, has the wrong notion that I am bound to the body. In this manner, unless we correct that notion, there is no question of freedom from samsara. And therefore, freedom from samsara comes only through correction of the view, the wrong view. the wrong view. Even though you become free from sin, can be exhausted. Sin is a result. Any result can be exhausted. Ji. Any punya, the merit also can be exhausted. Any desire can be exhausted. Anything that is any thought can be exhausted. But the thought I am the deha is a view. I am the body is a view, and that view cannot be exhausted. View needs to be corrected. A wrong notion, a distortion needs to be corrected. Distortion cannot be exhausted. A distorted view cannot be exhausted. A distorted view has to be corrected. And therefore, even though a person may exhaust the papa and punya, both papa means those who have exhausted their papa by way of drinking the somarasam and performing the Vedic rituals. Yajnaihi ishtva, having yajnaihi by the various rituals. Ishtva means having worshipped me. They only want to be free from the sin. This is the problem. You cannot be free from the sin unless it is exhaustible. The sin is this. Your sin is not the sin. Your sin is the view. The sin is the view. That is the original sin. That is called the view that I am Dehaiti. And they are Swargatim Prarthayante. And they always pray to, in all the rituals, they think of heavenly pleasures. Swargatim Prarthayante. Swargatim means Swargagatim. Swargatim. Swargagatim means Swargagatim. The goal of heaven they pray for. And therefore, Swargatim Prarthayante. They pray for only Swargatim. They pray for the result of the punya. They go to heaven, etc. Swargatim Prarthayante. In all the rituals, that is their prayer. Even though they have the knowledge of all the three Vedas, but still they are indeed, they think they don't know the value of Atma Jnanam. Even though they know all the three Vedas, they know only the three Karmakanda Vedas. They think that the Vedanta also is a part of Karmakanda. And therefore, Vedanta also needs to be performed. It is something that is, it is a karma. It is in the form of karma. Upasana is in the form of karma, and karma also is in the form of karma. And Vedanta is in the form of Upasana. They think Brahma Jnanam is looked upon as Brahma Upasanam. And Brahma Upasanam is a karma. And therefore, karma can give only, it can exhaust the papa or it can create the punya. Any action can create the punya or it can exhaust the papa. It can remove the papa. Swargatim prarthayante. Te punyam asadya. They get a lot of punyam. They get a lot of punyam. Punyam means the merit. Asadya means having gained. The punyam asadya. Surendra lokam ashnanti. Surendra lokam means the heaven. Lokam ashnanti means they enjoy. They enjoy the heaven. They enjoy the heaven. They enjoy the heavenly pleasures. Divyan. Divyan means Divyan means the divine pleasures, the heavenly pleasures. Divyan. Divi Deva Bhogan. Divi and where are those pleasures? In heaven only. Divi in heaven. Deva Bhogan. And they're all meant for the gods only. The pleasures that are generally used for denizens of heaven, you get them all. But how did you get all of them? Because you did all the Vedic karmas. Whether it is Laukik karma or Vedic karma, they create only a result, and a result can be exhausted. Ji. Your existence is not a result. Your existence is not a result, please. Your existence is eternal, is not a result. It is not a resultant factor. It's not a resultant factor. Your existence is not a resultant factor. That is what is to be understood. What is not a result has to be understood. What is a result has to be created. Because I have to do karma to create a result. To create, I have to do karma. To purify, I have to do karma. To modify, I have to do karma. To reach, I have to do karma. I can't gain them, those four results, without sitting quietly. I cannot go. I cannot make effort. I have to make effort. And the effort of karma, I have to make effort of karma. Effort of karma, then alone I can reach, I can produce, I can modify, I can purify, etc. But without making effort, I cannot. And they did a lot of Vedic karmas and Laukik karmas. Vedic karmas are good. Vedic karmas also exhausted the papa, and they created the punya. Out of that punya, they go to heaven and they enjoy the heavenly pleasures. And having enjoyed the heavenly pleasures, they come back to the earth. That is also said in the next verse. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam. They, those such people, which people? Those who have performed a lot of Vedic karmas and exhausting all their sin, gaining a lot of punya. They went to heaven and they enjoyed their pleasures, heavenly pleasures. Bhuktva. Te tam. Tam means that bhogam. Bhuktva. Tam means bhogam. Bhuktva. Having enjoyed that bhoga. Swargalokam vishalam. Swargalokam means the heaven. Having enjoyed the heaven. Vishalam. Vishalam means vast. Because they may go even for outing. They may go for outing. They go for walking. And all these pleasures are there. The pleasure of walking, the pleasure of going out, the pleasure of traveling, everything they get. The pleasure of eating, the pleasure of touching, the pleasure of seeing, the pleasure of feeling. All those pleasures having enjoyed. Swargalokam Vishalam, Kshine Punya. And then just as your money can be exhausted in time, your punya also can be exhausted in time. Kshine Punya, when the punya can be, Kshine Punya means when the punya is exhausted, Kshine Punya, Martyalokam Vishanti, they come back to the mortal world, means human world. Martyalokam Vishanti. Martyalokam means the human world, Vishanti means enter. Vishanti means enter. Martyalokam Vishanti. Martyalokam Vishanti. Evam Tridharmyam Anuprapannaha. In this manner, Tridharmyam, having Tridharmyam means three Vedas, Anuprapannaha, following them, following the three Vedas, Gata Gatam Kama Kama Labante, Gata Gataha, they die and then reborn, they die and reborn, Kama Kamaha, and they are only interested in the pleasures, Labante. This is what they get ultimately. What do they get? They get the heaven, all right, but they come back. It is exhaustible. And therefore, all your rituals only can create what is exhaustible punya place. And therefore, your existence is inexhaustible. It can never be. It cannot be over. It doesn't come under exhaustible karma. It is not a result. It is sanatanam. It is always there. And therefore, sada nutanam, it is always there. It is eternal. You are there. When the time is there, you see the time. When the time is not there, you see the timelessness, freedom from time also. And that is also experienced. And the one who, that anubhav swarupam is yourself. And therefore, you don't have to think that you are non-eternal. You are eternal, please. And therefore, you don't have to think that you are a body, human body, human being, human body. And therefore, here it is said, and therefore, when you perform the rituals, don't think that I have to reach heaven. In fact, it is better not to perform any ritual, because rituals always create only desires for punya. And therefore, it is better to not to perform any rituals. Therefore, it is better to think of your being, your existence, discern between Atma and Anatma. That is much better, because that is not, Atma is not something that is exhaustible. It is inexhaustible reservoir. It is inexhaustible. And therefore, it is something that is always there. Therefore, you better do the discerning between Atma and Anatma. You don't have to perform the rituals, etc. Kshine Punya Martilokam Vishanti. Therefore, what do they get out of these rituals? They get only the punya, and they go to heaven. They enjoy the heavenly pleasures, all right, and they come back. And therefore, in this manner, here also in the Loki karma, in the Loki, even if you even if you perform the good deeds, dharmic deeds, dharma is necessary for controlling the dharma. Dharma means you can live with another person properly, happily. That is called dharma. Dharyate anena iti dharmam. Two individuals are supported together. That is called dharma. But you don't have to do, you don't have to follow the dharma in order to get punya. You have to follow dharma in order to be peaceful with another person, whoever is that person, another individual. For the sake of interactions, for peaceful interactions, you can follow dharma. You don't have to follow dharma in order to get punya, because punya is exhaustible. Therefore, your understanding has to be corrected. Your understanding, what is the understanding? That I should not perform dharma also for, I should not perform dharma for earning punya, because punya is exhaustible. And therefore, I should perform only I should follow dharma only in order to, in order to facilitate interactions, in order to be peaceful, in order to make peaceful interactions. That is called dharma. Dharma is not meant for punya creation. Dharma is meant for to facilitate interactions properly, peaceful interactions, and that will give you in that manner. Dharma gives you peaceful mind, and with a peaceful mind, you can live in the society and think of the truth, and you can enjoy the truth, and you can understand the truth also. And therefore, whereas a person who performs the rituals only for the sake of merit, he gets the merit all right. He will go to heaven. He will enjoy the heavenly pleasures. But having exhausted, because punya is something that can be exhausted, but the self cannot be exhausted. And in order to know the self, you have to follow dharma. In fact, even though to begin with, dharma is followed only to facilitate interaction, ultimately it is meant for dharma. Ultimately it is meant for knowing the Brahma Vidya. And therefore it has to be connected to Brahma Vidya also. Brahma Vidya has to be connected. It has to be connected to Brahma Vidya. It has to be connected to Brahma Vidya. It has to be, unless it is connected to Brahma Vidya, it cannot be called dharma. Dharma has to be followed only for facilitating interactions, peaceful interactions. And peaceful interactions are facilitated by dharma. Dharma is good. Dharma is good. Otherwise, if you follow dharma in order to get merit alone, in order to get punya, that punya will be exhausted. When the punya is exhausted, you will become again papi. And therefore, anything that is a resultant factor, any resultant factor is exhaustible. Because it is exhaustible, and therefore, you don't have to go for the punya place. You can only go for you can only go for the understanding of the Atma, discerning between Atma and Anatma, discerning between what is not exhaustible, in order to recognize that you are not the Deha, that you are not the Deha. Even though Deha facilitates perception, etc., but there is a contradiction between I am Deha. I am Deha is not being said by Deha. I am Deha is being said by the non-Deha. No, I am Deha. I am an individual. A non-individual has got the wrong view that I am an individual. But otherwise, you are not an individual. In the deep sleep state, where is your individuality gone? Your individuality is transcendable. Your individuality is transcendable. And that means if anything that is transcendable is false. Ego is transcendable, the body is transcendable, the breath also is transcendable, everything is transcendable. If it is transcendable, it can be correctable also, and therefore it is a false thing. And therefore, please don't think that you are indeed a mortal individual, mortal human being. You are indeed the timeless individual. You are the timeless being, not individual. You are the timeless being. You are not, but the Brahman itself is the actuality. Brahmatvam is the actuality of. Please come. Brahmatvam is the actuality of. Brahmatvam is the actuality of an individual, and that individual is indeed Brahmatvam being the actuality of the individual, and that Brahmatvam has to be understood by the individual, that I am not an individual, that I am indeed the non-individual. In this manner, he has to understand. Evam Tridharmi Anuprapannaha. In this manner, following all the three Vedas, Tridharmi means three dharmas. Three dharmas means Tridharma means three Vedas. Having understood all the three Vedas, having followed all the rituals also, he gets a lot of merit also. All right, but that merit can be exhausted. When you enjoy a pleasure, your punya is exhausted. When you go through the sukham, your punya is exhausted. When you go through papam, when you go through dukkham, your papa is exhaustible. Because punya papa, they are only exhausting your past. Because exhaustion is a very big thing, ji. Has to be understood correctly. Exhausting. Punya can be exhausted, papa can be exhausted, but your existence cannot be exhausted. You are there in the waking state, you are aware of the waking state, you are aware of the dream state, you remember the deep sleep state, or you are aware of the deep sleep state. Therefore, all the one who experiences all the three states, and he also experiences the absence of all the three states. In the deep sleep state, if you analyze it as anubhava, there is no waking state, there is no dream state, there is no presence of the thought, there is no thought of the absence of this thought also. There is no thought of the absence of the thought also. There is no thought itself. When there is no thought, then there is no presence, there is no absence of the thought. And therefore, when you are not present, there is no presence of the thought, there is no absence of the thought. And still you are present. You experience the present, you experience after waking up, you experience your existence. I had a good sleep. I had a good sleep. When you say that I experience the sleep, that is good enough. As an experience of the sleep, you are very much there, and therefore you can never be absent. And therefore, evam tridharma anuprapannaha, going through, following all the three Vedas, anuprapannaha, gatagatam. Punya gatagatam means going and coming. Going and coming is experienced by them. Going and coming means you leave the body and take another body. Vasansa jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinahati naroparani. Just as a man changes the clothes, in that manner, the Atma also changes the Atma means your conscious being changes the bodies. Atma is not something. I have Atma, and don't think you don't have Atma. You are Atma. Not that you have Atma. Money. You can have money. House you can have, but the children you can have, grandchildren you can have, husband you can have, wife you can have, but Atma you don't have. Atma you are. And therefore, that is very important to note. That is very important to note. Atma you don't have, Atma you are. And therefore,